Hi and welcome to the video. I will be talking about how to teach in Saudi Arabia. Because I'm experienced in teaching in a university setting in Saudi Arabia, I will be focusing my conversation on that whole process because that's what I'm familiar with. Okay, first I will talk about the qualifications that are needed. After that, I will talk about the visa process and the documentation that you will need in order to fulfill that requirement. Please do keep in mind that this is the process that I went through 2 years ago, so it may or may not have changed slightly, but yeah. Lastly, I will be going over the Kabala System, which is the system that employers from Saudi use to sort of regulate their employment of migrant workers and expatriates. Alright, so firstly, let's talk about the qualifications. Alright, so bare minimum, you need a bachelor's, preferably in education, English language, literature, or linguistics. Okay, now I have also seen advertisements for unrelated degrees like underwater basket weaving. So long as you have one of the following certificates, English language teaching certificates to back up your diploma. Okay, this can be a TESOL, TESOL, TEFL, or CELTA certificate. Okay, so TESOL means teaching English to speakers of second languages. TESOL means teaching English as a second language. TEFL means teaching English as a foreign language. And CELTA means certificate in English language teaching. Now TEFL and TESOL have different meanings depending on the context in which you're teaching. If you're teaching English in a country whose predominant language environment is English, and you're teaching English as a second language. However, if you're teaching English in an environment where the majority of the speakers are not speaking the language that you're teaching, then you're teaching English as a foreign language. This is a distinction that not many employers are aware of, but I'm just letting you know for your own benefit, okay? So again, a BA in any of those preferred disciplines, and if not, whatever BA you have, plus one of those English language teaching certificates to support it. Okay, you will have to go online and research to find these programs that offer these certifications if you're interested. I would like to note, however, that I'm not sure if all the time, but I'm pretty sure it's all the time, the people who are employing you will not accept one of those language teaching certificates that were obtained offline. So you do have to go to a brick and mortar school in order to get that certification. Okay, so please research that and make sure that you get your language teaching certification from a brick and mortar school. Okay, next, let's see, after the qualifications, okay, so I found this from my recruiter. It's a checklist of the required documents for getting my Saudi Arabian employment visa. Okay, I'm American, by the way. Another point. You must be a native of the main Western speaking countries. Okay, that would be America, Canada, the UK, South Africa, and Ireland. Okay, I have on occasion seen advertisements that allow teachers who have gotten a very high IELTS score, like a 7.5 and above. However, just keep that in mind. So you want to be from any of those Western speaking countries. Okay, so back to this, the required documents. This is broken into the employee provided documentation and then the employer provided documentation. I will start with reading what the employee had to provide. So 3 original reports of the Saudi medical report form filled out by your physician. Okay, so you cannot have tuberculosis, hepatitis, or HIV if you want to work in this particular country. Okay, that's mainly what they're checking for, and I guess just like general overall health. You also need 3 copies of your medical lab and testing results page. You need completed Saudi employment visa application form. You need a recent police report. Okay, the police report provided must be from the applicant's local police or State Department. It must be the original document, either in a sealed envelope or with a signature and stamp certifying its originality. It cannot be a printout from a website. Okay. You also need 4 passport-size color pictures with a white background. You need a passport valid for at least 6 months with at least 2 clear visa pages adjacent to each other. You need a money order, cashier's check, payable to. Well, maybe you won't always be charged for the visa process, but I was. And then I was refunded most of it. Okay, you need notarized copies of your university degrees. Must be a clear copy. Do not send originals. You need sealed transcripts from your colleges or universities you graduated from. Okay. You need original certifications or notarized copies of your TESOL, CELTA, if you got those or needed those. You need a signed and filled out permission letter for embassy to conduct a check on your academic background. Okay. You need a sealed letter of method of instruction from the university that needs to clarify whether the classes were taken online or on campus. Okay. Like I was saying earlier, you need to print verification page for your degree from degreeverify.com. And then this is optional. It says at least 1 letter of recommendation, preferably geared towards your teaching background. And that's all for what the employee needed to provide. Next, you have this, the employer provided documentation. Okay, so this has a reference note showing the number and date of the residence visa issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the original letter indicating the block visa number and date, as well as the position and name of the person requested from the company in Saudi Arabia sponsoring the applicant. The employee contract signed by both the sponsor and the applicant, and then optional, a release letter from the previous employer in Saudi Arabia if the applicant has worked in the kingdom before within the last 3 years. Okay, so in order to give a better explanation of the Kabala system that I could give, I went on to Wikipedia and I just want to read a little bit about this. It's not very long. So it says the Kabala system, meaning sponsorship system, is a system used to monitor migrant laborers working primarily in the construction and domestic sectors in Lebanon, Bahrain, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. The system requires all unskilled laborers to have an in-country sponsor, usually our employer, even skilled laborers, as you can see, who is responsible for their visa and legal status. This practice has been criticized by human rights organizations for creating easy opportunities for the exploitation of workers, as many employers take away passports and abuse their workers with little chance of legal repercussions. Okay, so I highly recommend that you do your research. Do your research, do your research. If you find a company that you are interested in, you have many options to find reviews of former employees at those companies. And you read through them and read through them and read through them. I have read or had read before I even ventured off into Saudi Arabia that some employers used to, in fact, even for teachers, take away their passports. I'm actually currently working at the second project that I've worked at since I've been here, the second university. At this university, they do not give you a multi-entry exit visa. You only have a single entry exit visa, which means that you cannot leave the country on your own accord. You have to wait until they issue visas to you. Now, the first university had different rules, okay? Different management under the same company, but different management. And we were all able to get multi-exit re-entry visas. And how, as I'm saying, like, these things do happen. I do find it very burdensome and a little worrying, but yeah, so do your research. Okay, so according to The Economist, the migrant workers' lot is unlikely to improve until the reform of the Kabala System, whereby workers are beholden to the employers who sponsored their visas. This system blocks domestic competition from overseas workers in the Gulf countries. Although The Economist has also noted the positive economic impacts the Gulf system has had upon foreign workers and their families and home communities. Okay, so that's all I have. Please feel free to leave questions and I'll do my very best to answer whatever questions that you do have. Okay, and I wish you the best of luck if you do decide that this is something that you want to spend some time doing and pursuing and learning about. You have all different types of people who come here. Some people have come here, teachers I mean, for religious purposes. Some people to build up their CVs. Some people just as some sort of like end of career, like wrap up. I mean, for many different reasons people come here. And it's not for everybody. I'll be the first to tell you, but it definitely will change your life for sure. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Take care. Bye.